We've been doing a lot of consultations on the behavioural aspects of what we're all going through, and so I thought it may be helpful to record a short video outlining some of what we've been saying since the start of the lockdown. I don't need to tell anyone that this pandemic will be a historical marker, and it's having a profound effect on the way that every single one of us is now living their lives. Our very freedom has been curtailed, and the psychological aspects of this are significant. Our sense of safety has been broken not only on an individual level but a societal level and a global level as well, and it's something we've never really experienced before, or has never been experienced since wartime. In many ways, the emotional journey that we're experiencing is similar to what bereavement expert David Kessler refers to as the stages of grief. At the start of this, you may have been in denial. Is this virus real? Is it going to arrive in the UK? Is this going to affect me? Then when it did arrive and measures were put in place, you may have felt angry at having had to change and cancel plans that may have been very important to you. Maybe now there's a sense of bargaining. Okay, I will stay at home for 3 or 4 weeks, observe social distancing, because then everything will be better. And then there's also sadness because you don't know when this will end. But that final stage is acceptance, an acknowledgement that this is happening, and how do I move forward, because in the acceptance lies our power, and we find control in acceptance. The issue is that whilst we all know this is temporary, we don't know how temporary. And because the impact on daily life has been so dramatic, we need to stop, think and create a new normal for now that we can sustain for however long this takes. A starting point is to stop anchoring on future time frames, to come into the present and let go of what you can't control. What is in your control, though, is your routine. We're wired to create habits and routines. Every animal that's succeeded has done so because they could create and recognise what is a successful pattern. If not, we'd always get lost, eat stones instead of nuts, and fail to recognise danger signs. Our stories have starts, middle and ends. From a young age, we hear the school day start with a bell, and religions operate with a set of routines. We tend to be more productive and feel fulfilled if we have one. So the key thing is to create a new normal for this interminable period, to consider a new routine, to change it from the old normal, and not to be afraid of making extreme changes if you feel that they'll benefit you. Maybe we can all agree that in a typical day, if you're still in your pyjamas at midday, or have been up, dressed and tied to the laptop in your spare bedroom for 10 hours without a proper break, neither of these are likely to be particularly healthy. If you find yourself Skyping in a smart shirt and your pyjama bottoms, I'll leave you to decide whether or not that is a sign of perfect psychological equilibrium. I would suggest not. So have a rethink. Bring from your previous routine what works for the now. Some things you will still have to do at a certain time, others can be changed or dropped, and new plans, projects and activities added. So question what you do and when. A simple example may be that now you can't go to the gym in the evening, you could choose to exercise outside in the middle of the day when it's warmer, and certainly we should all be exercising because the mental and physiological benefits of that are well proven. So build your new routine. Then each day highlight the one thing you will definitely make time for that day, and consider projects you've always wanted to complete. That room that's been waiting to be decorated for ages, the films you always wanted to watch, the books you always wanted to read, and the podcasts you always meant to listen to. But a few warnings: beware of infinity pools. By infinity pools, I mean those apps and websites that supply an infinitely refreshing supply of content. They can be difficult to resist, so make sure you control them and not the other way around, because they can be real-time vampires. The second thing also, don't fall into routine anxiety. Even though people may be telling you of all the changes they've made and how productive they've become, so what? Don't be jealous of other people's routines. It's what works for you that matters. Anchors and reference points can have a profound effect on our perception. For example, our perception of value, our perception of when a task will be completed, and our perception of time frames. I mean, most people understand prices as an anchor and the pleasure of receiving a perceived discount off a price, or the annoyance at having suffered a surcharge. When it comes to tasks, anyone who's ever taken a cycling challenge or trek and been told towards the end that the distance is longer than first thought knows the difficulties of recalibrating the task in your head. And as far as timeframes are concerned, anyone, for example, who's suffered an injury that hasn't recovered as predicted or hasn't moved to the new house on the anticipated date understands the frustrations of resetting that time frame, or alternatively the unanticipated joy of getting out of plaster or receiving the keys earlier than expected. So the setting of anchors can assist in promoting behaviours that enhance our well-being but can also harm it. So setting them at the correct level to assist our mental well-being is important. So what about now? How does this affect now? Well, we simply don't know with any degree of accuracy when this lockdown will end and when we can consider ourselves to be safe. So I would strongly caution anticipating any time frames for this crisis based on numbers reported in the news, those horrible death rates, hospital admissions, flattening curves, market falls and bounces, what's happening in other countries. If this means that you mentally anchor on a time frame for this all to be over, then it isn't. It could subsequently be harmful to your well-being. And this isn't easy when everybody has an opinion and journalists seem to want to be the news sometimes rather than just reporting it. So don't estimate when things will get back to normal, but instead create a new normal for now that you can accept and live with for however long is necessary. A phrase I'm starting to hear people say is that when this is over, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Really, we should be saying that whilst this is happening, I can and will do X, Y, and Z. So create your new routine and create your new normal. And it's all stock up on goodwill, empathy, and compassion. I hope you found this helpful. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Thank you.